We spend all our life thinking that we are strong, and we did not recognize that life is fragile and can be gone just like turn off the light. When you consider that, you know the truth. You need people next to you in the process. I am Alexander Borges. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I have 2 kids, 1 daughter, 1 son. I have been married for 28 years. My wife's name is Licia.
Alex is a very smart guy. As an engineer, you know, that very disciplined and structured.
Part of the job that required for a structural engineer, other than design, is to visit the sites or the location where the projects or the construction is happening. Had to go to a place to visit this existing facility. It was an industrial building, very big building and high, to make a structural assessment. And while I was at the roof area, just practically finishing the inspection, portion of the roof collapsed, and I fell. I don't remember anything, how it happens.
I received a call. It was from the hospital, and they said, you need to go to the trauma center because your husband had an accident. It didn't make sense to me because I know he had all the safety equipment and all that stuff that he needed.
And I cannot overemphasize how catastrophic his injury was. He fell from 35 feet from a collapsing roof to the ground and sustained multiple injuries to his skull, to his face, to his neck, to his upper extremities, to his spine, his back. When a case like Mr. Borges, who had a diffuse type of brain injury, he had so many different types of intracranial bleeds.
I can't even describe. Honestly, it was such a mix of feelings, fear. It's hard to see a loved one in a trauma ICU environment. It was somebody else. It wasn't my Alexander. I was overwhelmed, lost. And I received a call telling me that it was Alexander's case manager. It was gonna be the first person to sit with me and explain what happened.
When I first met Alexander, he was still in the intensive care unit. He was on a ventilator at the time. He had numerous, of course, tubes and IVs going in and out of him. He was not responsive at that time because he was in a chemically induced coma.
We had 3 Paradigm medical directors working on the case. I specialize in taking care of brain injuries and associated trauma. We brought on 2 additional specialists. One was a trauma or orthopedic specialist, and the other physician was a ocular plastic reconstructive facial specialist. And that really helped us to develop a very comprehensive medical and rehab plan going forward. I, in my role as a Paradigm Medical Director, will have direct contact in regards to communication with the providers, discussing the care plan, the treatment, what was going on, what were the areas of challenges, but also to utilize my expertise as far as the brain injury goes in regards to providing the treatment.
The team approach that Paradigm brings to the patient is paramount.
We rate all of our cases. It's the complexity of a case, and Alex was the very most complex case that we would manage here at Paradigm.
A case like this, quite honestly, one of our most challenging is education of the family.
Paradigm is a model which is based on outcomes.
And what's going to be best for the patient.
So if you were take a wheel and you have the spokes of a wheel, and of course the center part of that wheel is going to be the patient. And then we all support that wheel. So you have the family component, you have the providers, you have the friends, and then you have a company like Paradigm. Every member of that team plays an integral role, and it's this integration, all of our specialties and experience from that, which helps us then work with the patient, the family, and the providers to achieve the highest outcome.
One of the main jobs as a network manager is that we do act as the boots on the ground, that we act as the advocate for the patient, and we act as a conduit between all the people that need to talk to each other, which is a challenge.
Our case manager, Carol, has been a blessing to our lives. Without the intervention of the case manager and Paradigm, I by myself, I couldn't help him the way I wish I could.
Another part of a job of the network manager is not only to communicate with the local providers, the patient's family, but also with the Paradigm medical team, the Paradigm medical directors, and then also the insurance carrier. Because ultimately, they're the ones that are being responsible for the case. They're the ones that referred it to Paradigm and entrusted us with that care. So we're constantly educating and providing updates on the patient to the carrier.
I remember the day that I woke up. And that happened 3.5 weeks after the accident.
Then he was transferred to Shepherd, which was at Shepherd in Atlanta, which is known as one of the top comprehensive rehab centers in the entire world.
My life has changed, not only in the physical, my body, but also emotional.
The behavioral challenges can be the biggest obstacle or barrier that interferes with the person reintegrating into the home and into the community. In these cases, we bring on neuropsychologists who really play an important part in regards to both the cognitive, but it ends up even, we find their value is even higher when you're looking at the psychological changes that can take place. Not only was he able to return home, he was able to return back to a high-powered intellectual job.
I will say that the involvement of Paradigm helps so much. You feel that you are a person more than a patient. For me, I celebrate every day that I open my eyes. I celebrate that I can walk. It's important to have people that help you. It's something that you can do alone. And for me, that was amazing, that I got this help from Paradigm.
We want to let people know that there's always hope